There is growing evidence that lake trout are making a comeback in Lake Michigan. The feds have been stocking the lake with trout for decades, and now biologists say the fish are reproducing on their own. Fox 11's Eric Peterson has more from the waters off Sheboygan.
Tell you what panel number?
Dale Hansen is looking for what he calls the perfect lake trout. The fisheries biologist with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is conducting a survey on Lake Michigan. Nearly a mile of nylon netting is set about 2 miles off the Sheboygan shore.
Most of the lake trout out in the lake right now, they do have fin clips, and that indicates that they were stocked from a hatchery.
Hansen says in the last 50 years, 125 million lake trout have been stocked into Lake Michigan. Hansen says lamprey eels, zebra mussels, and little fish called alewives have hurt the lake trout. Hansen says salmon have gobbled up many of the alewives, and the lake trout have started to reproduce on their own.
Right now, in areas of the lake, we're seeing roughly 20% of the fish are unclipped, and that is by no means observed on a lake-wide basis.
On Tuesday, on the last net.
So here we have our first unclipped lake trout that we captured today.
Hansen says the fish will need to be tested further, but even one fish out of 33 is good.
So it's still early on in the game, but at least we have some encouraging signs to work with here.
Bunch of lake trout, rainbows.
And those who make their living off the lake say they noticed the change.
Today on my trip I caught 5 of them. Looks like there's a good combination between the naturally occurring lake trout and the lake trout that are stocked.
At Dumper Dan's Charters, Captain Rick Reamer says 6 boats made 1,300 trips last year, caught 14,000 salmon and trout.
It's always great to come back with a full box of fish.
A full-finned phenomenon. Biologists say it's quite a fish story.
That is indicative that these fish were spawned in the lake, and that is something that hasn't happened consistently for the 50 or 60-year period.
In the waters off Sheboygan, Eric Peterson, Fox 11 News.
Biologists say this spring survey will wrap up in a couple of weeks. The fish caught today will be donated to Paul's Pantry in Green Bay.